And just one small correction here. Instead of you can see the file set file, instead of _1, I just want you to rename it. But before you can rename, you need to close the file in Naviswork. Otherwise, you can't rename it. So I'm coming back to Naviswork. So to close Naviswork, there is actually no close button. So if you find an X on the top right corner, just like in Revit, you probably can't find it. And this X at the top right corner is to close the software. So in order for you to close Naviswork, you in fact need to press the new button instead. So new means close the current one. And in Naviswork, you cannot open multiple files at the same time or multiple projects at the same time. You only can have one session on your screen. Unlike Revit, you can open as many files and projects as you want in Revit, but in Naviswork, just one. So close this is pressing the new button here, and now you have a black screen, and that's why you know you're closed. So opening up the Windows Explorer, I'm just going to rename this, the one that says file set, rename as consultant, because this file represents the views created by the consultant. Before we proceed, just want you to see compared to the Revit model, you can see the size of a Naviswork model is much smaller as compared to the Revit model, and that is why one of the benefits of using Naviswork is because they kind of compress the file to be lightweight, so that you can load kind of multiple models from many different disciplines into the software. Whereas if you're going to rely on Revit to do the linking of various disciplines model, then you'll probably have issues with the RAM of your computer. Your files will be too slow to operate, to work on, and that's also the reason why Naviswork was created, because your files are lightweight as compared to the Revit model. So once you change the name, I'm just going to kind of open up the consultant. Just going to click and drag into Naviswork. That should open it up. Okay, so if you happen to open the one that says Naviswork cache file, you probably not see any viewpoints that you created. You're not going to see any viewpoints that you created, because the viewpoints that you created is under the file set file. Okay. When you open this Naviswork cache file, you can still see the 3D model without any user created files, right? Whereas if you open the Naviswork file set, you can see the annotations, markups, viewpoints by the consultant. As you see here, consultant. You click the plus icon, you can see the view that you created is in this NWF file. Okay, the views that you created is in the NWF file. If you happen to do some drawings, dimensions, markup, circles, squares, whatever on your viewpoints, they still belong to the NWF file. So coming back to this model, when you look around, you will notice that two pieces of wall floating probably did not supposed to be here. In Naviswork, you can't. This is a review software. It's not a BIM authoring tool, in the sense that you can't delete or build additional elements in Naviswork. Okay, if you look at the tab here, there's nothing that will allow you to build things here. You can hide the objects in Naviswork if you want to, but we're going to correct them. We're going to delete them, and in order for us to delete these two pieces of wall over here, you need to go back to the native file. Native file meaning the Revit file, because this came from Revit. So here I have Revit open on here in Revit 2018. And opening up the Revit file. Okay, so in Revit, I'm not going to kind of teach Revit, but to delete the two pieces of wall, you just do a left click, delete, left click, delete, and that's all you need to do in the Revit file. And once you delete the wall in Revit, coming back to Naviswork, you will still see the two walls are here. It doesn't change. How about we go and save the Revit file? Okay, so I've saved the Revit file and I minimize it. The wall is still here. So actually, after saving the file, what you need to do in Naviswork is to go to the Home tab and press the refresh button. So yeah, once you have any updates in your BIM model, be it from ArchiCAD or Revit or other BIM authoring software, just make sure to press the refresh button. And one thing to note is you need to make sure that your Revit, the name is matching for between the cache file and the Revit file. Okay, the file set you can name it other name, but the cache file and the Revit file must be kept with the same name and same folder. If you separate them, then Naviswork will not be able to detect. Basically, it loses connection and you can no longer update your file from then. So just make sure nobody goes and change the name of the Revit file and the cache file. Otherwise, you lose the connection, and they must be in the same folder. Whereas the file set file can be anywhere other names and different folder. Okay, so once you click refresh, we're back here. We don't see, no longer see the wars. Just click. We're just gonna close this file by clicking on the new button here. And this time, I want you to basically you can open from here as well. Click on this green button, open. And I want you to, instead of opening the file set, this time I want you to open up the cache file. So we kind of have opened the cache file twice already, but now we're going to simulate that we are the contractor side. So the consultant have created their viewpoints. Now we are kind of like the contractor. It's the first time we work with the file. Okay, so open up the Naviswork cache file. And you will see that these 3 viewpoints are still there inside the cache file. The reason is because it's, again, it's from the Revit model, right? If you see on the project browser here to here, this is the existing views that are created in Revit, and therefore, whenever you open up the cache file, the viewpoints are, just there. So just delete these 3 from Revit here. Okay, and so it's kind of one direction in the sense that when you delete the viewpoints from Naviswork, it does not affect the Revit file, so you are safe to delete them. And for now, I just want to create 3 more viewpoints. So here we go. Just go and click. I'm just going to find a different angle. Remember, the viewpoint button is here. Just viewpoint tab. Take the camera button. This time I'll name it view 4 maybe. Rotate a little bit. Take the camera button. View 5. Rotate a little bit. Kind of view 6, I suppose. Yep, view 6 here. And create a folder. This time I'm just going to name this folder contractor. And dump the viewpoints 4, 5, and 6 into the contractor folder. Here you go. Make sure it's under contractor. Okay, and I want you to go ahead and press the save button. And this shall be BIMLife contractor. In case you don't know what is BL is basically the company's name, BIMLife, and it's ARCHI file. And then we are creating the views. We are representing the contractors at this point in time. So just click on save. Okay, so imagine now you are the contractor and you know that the consultant have also kind of have some comments and views that they created in the model. And if you want to access or you want to bring in the consultant's inputs into your Naviswork file, what you can do is go to the Home tab. There is a append button. Okay, if you click on drop down, there is append and merge. I will kind of not explain them right now. Later we'll understand a little bit better. But right now I want to click on the append. And so right now we are at the contractors file. We want to see what the consultants have commented or what they have created. Use the append button and click on the BIMLife consultant. Press open. And by doing this, basically we are going to combine the consultant's model with the contractor's model, or kind of the contractor's comments and annotations. So in the background you will hear some music. I like to, I do turn the music on a little bit because I'm not too comfortable with speaking into the mic and creating tutorials, and so it kind of helped me to stay a bit more cool, more calm while I'm creating videos. Otherwise, I actually do have a lot of retakes. So a simple 10 minutes videos can take about 1 hour because I need to retake the video multiple times. So that's why there's some light music in the background. And I also like to keep it informal. I don't intend to be a BIM trainer or VDC trainer. I'm just here with all these videos to share with you my knowledge, and hopefully you learn something out of this. Okay, so once the pen has been done, if you look at your save viewpoints panel, I will just call this a panel. Okay, there's many panels representing different functions in Naviswork. You can see if you click on the plus button, you can see the consultant views as well as the contractor's view, right? So the append button kind of adds whatever annotations and comments, tests, videos done by the other party into a single model. Okay, next, what I want you to do here is to hide a specific piece of wall. Okay, so to hide a piece of wall, first we need to select the object. So I click on this object over here. Okay, let's orientate yourself. Click on this wall here, and the hide button is over here. So Home tab, hide, and when you click on the hide button, you will notice that the wall is still there. So let's try it for the second time. Click on it and click hide, and now it's kind of the wall has disappeared, right? So why do we need to hide twice? Why doesn't it work on the first time? Okay, the reason why is because just now I mentioned to you that there's these two buttons here. Okay, we use append and we kind of simulated the wrong workflow. Okay, so when you use the append button, you will bring in the model as well as the annotations. So there's actually two models overlapping on top of each other at this point in time, because one is the model from the contractor, one is the model from the consultant, and when you use the append button, they bring in the 3D geometry as well. So if let's say you and the consultant are looking at the same BIM model, instead of using append, then you need to use merge. So by merging, Naviswork will find all the similar geometry and make sure not to bring the same objects twice into the Naviswork file. Okay, so if you're talking about the same model, use merge, not append. If you want to combine different views, dimensions, annotations. If it's a different discipline, then you would use merge, which we will probably kind of use it or practice it later on in the training session. Okay, and at this point in time, what we can do is use the selection tree. Click on this button here, and we can actually delete one of them. And the one that you need to delete is, let me see here, NWC file. You can delete the RVT file. Okay, click on it, press delete, and click on yes. So now you actually have one model, and your views are still there. Okay, so if you actually use the merge, then it wouldn't have appeared here twice. You wouldn't have the same 3D model here twice. Okay, so that's the difference between append and merge. Now coming back to the results tab, I want you to group all the clashes together, and we're just going to name this as clash 1. And now, since we have grouped all the clashes together, we're going to try to write a report again to see if there is any difference. Okay, go to report, and I need you to make sure that this says the selection option here is group headers only. Okay, and go ahead and this should be viewpoints, no change, preserve result highlighting, no change, write report. And now when you do that, a new folder is created. Click on the plus icon, click on clash 1. You can see clash 1 dash overview. So instead of reporting as 4 individual clash, there is only one clash. Okay, so there's the difference between grouping and non-grouping. If you group them, they will be shown as one single viewpoints. If you choose not to group them, then they will show as separate viewpoints here. Okay, so that is essentially the purpose of the group. And there's some other options here that says include only filtered results. Just now we filtered by level 2, just now we filtered by personnel. As long as once you filter, for example, let me explode this here. Okay, right click and quick filter by person 1. As long as you don't click this button, clear quick filter. If you only want to export an issue pertaining to a single user, you can go ahead and click report and use this include only filtered results. Alright, report here. You can see dark structural column assigned to person 1. Plus icon, clash 1, clash 2. Okay, so that will be it for clash detection. This is the end of module number 2, and we will move on to module number 3 in the next video, learning to create construction sequence. And if you have learned something new, I hope you give this video a like, and see you in the next one.